Hello, this is Sonia Cunningham Leverett with Hadassah's Crown Publishing. We are interviewing Rori tonight. She is the author of A Praying Grandmother, and she should be with us in just a couple minutes. So thank you for joining me. And what you hear in the background is our happy theme song, because publishing is what we do and we're so very excited about it. And so we wanted the world to know that we're publishing dreams. Reach out to us because we are helping everyone to pursue dreams that they may have about publishing. Sometimes it's difficult when you get plenty of rejection letters back to your queries. And so if you reach out to us, your dreams are more likely to be possible. So I want to just focus for a minute on our children's books. Let me, nope, that's not what I want to do. All right, I see Rori there, so let me go ahead and get her connected. Before I do, I just wanted to take a minute to show you our children's books. There is hers. And here's our nice little theme and banner, our logo. But let me get Rori on the line so that we can get started. There she is. Hello.
Hey,
How are you doing?
I'm good. You?
Doing good. I hope you had a wonderful day today.
Excellent day, relaxing day.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Let me pick my phone up so you can see me.
I came on quick.
Yes.
I came on quick then.
You sure did. I appreciate that. So I think you've been sitting there all day long just waiting for this interview because you were just that excited.
It's 5 o'clock.
That is funny.
Went in with the phone.
Wow, that is so funny. Well, I have introduced myself and what I do, so I'm going to just turn it over to you for a minute so that you can tell our viewers who you are and what it is that you do.
Okay. I'm Rori Leake. I'm originally from South Carolina, but I resigned here in Georgia. In 2018, I became an ordained minister. And since I've been here, I worked on my second book, A Praying Grandmother. So I'm planning on working on a few more. I love nature. Okay. I started writing, walking in the park, sitting by the water. I love outdoors. So, and
I noticed a lot of the mornings with Rori and your prayers in the morning. Most of that's outside. So yeah. I can see that you do like nature and you don't mind being outside.
I don't. I love it. I love being outside.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to start with A Praying Grandmother. And I see you have the book in your background, and here is my copy that says not for sale because I don't want anyone to snatch my book. But what I like about it is there's you praying, and you have your 4 grandchildren at the time.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, but at the time you only had the 4, but the two youngest are represented in the book. So I'll talk a little bit more about it, but you tell us your vision for it and just how it came to be.
It came to be because I'm so far away. When I left South Carolina to arrive here, being so far away, I was beginning to miss them. And I really didn't get a chance to talk to them that much. And one day I was just sitting here and I was just thinking, and it just fell in my spirit to write a children's book, because it has been spoken in my life that I would write many children's books. So I said, okay. And once the Lord just dropped it on me, I just started writing. And see, I saw you on Instagram. So I reached out to you about it and you shared more about it. So that's how I started. But I wanted to do more for them, to let them know that I was praying, that I was thinking about them. So I said, that'll be good. And that would make me put the pictures in the inside the way I did. because when they look in it, they get so excited.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it got started. I was missing my grandchildren.
Well, that's awesome. And so you could have sent them money, you could have sent them candy, you could have sent them a lot of things through the mail, but
Mm-hmm.
to let them know that you were praying for them and how important it was for them to pray. I
Mm-hmm.
think
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the greatest and one of the best gifts that you could have given to them. You do
Yeah.
talk about each one of them and some of the things that they do as far as their hobbies and what they like and what they enjoy. But you talk specifically too about how you pray for each one of them and the
Mm-hmm.
significance of that. So I think it's a great book. You also use scripture in here, and it's just I think just a great encouragement. So kudos on that. It was interesting because after you sent me the picture and I started working on the cover design
Uh-huh.
and the layout, I don't know why I was just drawn to purple. And then to find out that that was the color of your ministry.
Of my ministry. That's right. So you know that's God. That's
Exactly.
yeah. I
Exactly.
call I call it spirit by the spirit.
All right. Well, it came together beautifully, and I hope it has been received well. I hope that it was a special gift to your grandchildren. And if nothing else, well, first of all, they have the joy of seeing themselves inside of it, but they
Yeah.
also know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you truly have their best interest in heart and that you are lifting them up to the Father every
Mm-hmm.
single day.
I do. I do. I do. They really enjoy it. They talk about it all the time. I was home the past weekend, and they was still talking about the book. But you know, now that I haven't really been able to do much with the book because as soon as it was published, you know, the virus came out, the
That's true.
COVID. So I
That's
really, you know, so I'm working on some things.
That's right. And that's why one of the reasons that we're interviewing now, so that people
Mm-hmm.
can know about your book and know you and know what you're doing, because as authors, we are very limited. There's not a lot we can do unless we are on Facebook and Zoom and all of the virtual platforms. That's really our only choice. Hopefully, we can have some of those sessions with students in classrooms.
Yeah,
As well, because there's, we don't want to put them in danger and we don't want to be in danger by going
that's
into
right.
school and adding to the traffic there. But again, we are very limited in what we can do right now. So that's why it's so important for us to, just share what we can
Yeah,
via the platform and others as well.
yeah.
So I know all about this book, love it. But tell us about your first book, because when I met you, you were an author, and I've seen your book and I have not had an opportunity to read it. That is something that I would like to do. But your title is interesting and it seems like it truly tells a story.
Yeah, my life, my story. And like I said, I started this book in the park. Um, this book got started. I was so confused. Life was just, I was all over the place. And I was sitting in the park one day and I was writing, because see, I've been writing for years, but I just didn't know why or what to do with it. So I was sitting in the park one day and it fell in my spirit, right. So I gathered up some of my writing and stuff and I just started writing, and it dropped in my spirit, my life, my story, because it's just like the Lord said, write about you. I'm sitting there trying to figure out, what can I write about? What do I do to write? So it fell in my spirit, my life, my story. Now, how I got Burning Bridge, I prayed about it and I prayed about it. And one day I was at work walking my client. And Sonia, I was looking up in the clouds. And I saw two clouds. I was looking up in the sky and I saw two clouds. And it's like they was meeting. And I said, burning crosses. That did not sit well in my spirit. Okay. I looked up again and I said, burning bridges. I grabbed my client and I took off inside the building and I looked it up. And what came on my phone, burning bridges to follow Christ. Now that's what came up on my phone. And so that's how that got started. And it's facts about my life. And it brought a lot of healing to me as I was writing that book. It got so many cries in there from the good and the bad of life, because I went through a lot. So I just decided to write about my life. You know, the Lord shared it with me and I took off. Once he gave me that revelation, I took off with it. And
That's
I do, yeah.
two things came up when you said that, because when I saw that on the title, I said, what is that? Because, you know, we're taught to not burn bridges. That's not
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do.
That's
So
right.
I thought maybe you had burned a lot of bridges, and so you were sharing how you learned that that wasn't the thing to do. But what you just said is very powerful, because we do. I mean, there are times when we do have to burn bridges. I really hadn't heard it that way, but I truly understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, because in this book right here, it shares a lot. It
Mhm.
don't share enough, so that's why I'm working on book 2, because I
Okay.
want to get deeper now.
Okay.
Um, some bridges, some things I just don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go back to. So I decided to burn the bridge,
Okay.
because if I go back to it, if I go back over that bridge, it's gonna mess up my life,
Mhm.
and burn the bridge.
All right.
Sometimes you got to burn the bridge. And I
Exactly.
understand exactly what you're saying, because I heard that too growing up. Don't burn all your bridges. Don't burn your bridge. You might have to cross it again. But in this book right here, it
Uh-huh.
tells some things that I don't want to go back to.
All right.
So I burn the bridges to keep on.
Okay. All right. Well, you were talking about your story and just the healing that came from it. And it's funny because I was talking, my sister and I were riding yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you know, I have a lot that I can put in a book. And I said, you really do. I said, most people do. But most people, well, a lot of people, or some people, just never see themselves as an author. They never want to put it out there and let other people read it. So
Mm-hmm.
some of us are convinced or convicted that our stories are meant to be read by other people and meant to be shared. We went through it for a reason. But
Mm-hmm.
we're discussing how sometimes they'll tell you when you're very angry with somebody to, for example, like with the email, go ahead and write everything that you feel. Just go off and then
Yeah.
delete it. And it's like, then you get that release and it's gone, because you know you don't want to share everything that comes up and that comes out. But at the same time, when you put it on paper and when you get it out, you do get an emotional healing. It's a catharsis that, you know, you just really can't even explain to people how you know, that is. And I keep explaining to people that writing is so very therapeutic. And if you'll
Mm-hmm.
just, you know, release your story, you may not share it on the same platform that we are, but I still encourage people to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. This book right here supposed to be about 300 or 400 pages. To be honest, this was a big book, but it have 90 pages in it, because the lady that published it, she this is my first book. So some things you have to be careful. You have to be careful what you write and what you do put in it, you know. So that's why I said with my first book, I started small.
Uh-huh.
So with the next one, part 2, and it might be a part 2, and it might be a book 2, book 3, book 4. I don't know how the Lord would lead me on that, but I
Okay.
know it's going to be another one, and it will tell more. Because see, some people want to know, how did you really get over it? How did you? Some things in here I didn't tell how I really just got over it. How did it just push me forward? You know,
Uh-huh.
I was just telling the story. So
Mhm.
now I think it's time for me to tell a little more,
Okay.
if that makes sense what I'm saying. So
Uh,
you really have to be careful with, you know, what you put in a book. But yes, I had
okay.
everything on paper, but I just couldn't put it in the first book.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that and reading it. So I need to read part 1, so I'll be ready when part 2 comes.
you be ready.
And
Yeah.
I'm interested. Do you plan to do any more children's books?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I was sitting in my room and I started on one.
Mhm.
But you know, I'm also working on the book of poems. You remember me telling you that? So
That's
right now I'm working on 2 projects. So
okay.
yeah.
Well, just
I
keep it moving.
I have about 4 more good books in me.
Okay. Awesome. Well,
I
and the
do. Huh?
but you can't even say that because you're young, and so you know maybe you've lived, you know, a good portion of your life, but you still have a long way to go, and so you don't know whatever else is going to happen that you might want to tell about as well.
You're right. And it's funny that you said that because when I left South Carolina to come in 2018 when I arrived in Georgia, before I got into I was writing. And the Lord told me to continue writing. So there will be, like you said, it might be more because see, God have given me a vision. I see a little bit. So there will be a big book telling about my journey. Okay. My journey from South Carolina to here. How did it get started? Crossing that line from South Carolina to Georgia, that's where I'm writing at. That's where I'm started at. When God told me he would erase my footprints, when I crossed that line from South Carolina, crossed over to Georgia, it's just like I heard the Lord say, I'm erasing your footprints. Wow. So I started writing. And so I'm writing from the time I arrived here to whenever. Maybe when I get a husband, or whatever God has for me, but it's gonna be a good book. Okay. It's gonna be a good one. And that might be my last one.
Okay. Well, never say never. And yeah, we can't ever predict because we don't know. We have to wait on our assignment from him.
You're right.
Left, but right now you're still writing and it's working for you. And I appreciate that about you. And I know I've always loved writing. And so I think I've done about 7, but I need to get back to this middle level novel that I'm supposed to be writing. I'm just so into everybody else's books and publishing them that I have put my writing on the back burner. So I need to get back into it. I truly do. Well, tell the readers how they can contact you. And I know we don't really probably have many events coming up in the near future, but if anyone wanted to contact you for speaking or book signings or anything of that nature.
I don't have a website right now. I'm working on that. They can messenger me on Facebook, DM me here on Instagram, and I can share my number. I can give my number now, or either they can just ask for it, through my DM. Okay. But I'm gonna go ahead and put my number out here. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. And then after this interview, if anybody watches it after this day, if you want to contact me or author Minister Rori Leake, you can contact her as well. So I'm just pleased to know you. I have to tell our story. I know some members of your family, but I really didn't know you. I know you and my niece worked together at one point, but my mom is from the same place that you're from, Cross Hill. And, and so my dad is from Waterloo. And they are very funny because they always have to joke about it, like which one is the biggest and which one has a red light, which one doesn't. And so my dad has always said that Waterloo is the capital of Cross Hill. So I actually got him to see, well, Daddy, then you're giving in. You're saying that Waterloo is smaller than Cross Hill because for it to be the capital. So now I think he's really thought about that. He doesn't say that anymore.
Yeah, I think Cross Hill is bigger than Waterloo. I think Cross Hill do have one red light.
They do. Yeah.
Waterloo don't have a red light.
They don't. They did catch up with y'all. They do have a Dollar General now. So.
Yeah. So it's all good. Yeah.
It's all good. And speaking of which, this is my dad's book, Ulysses Cunningham, A Friend to Man, The Story of a Soldier and Steward. He's not on Instagram, but I will be interviewing him next week. So I'll probably be down in Lawrence to interview him. So I wanted to just let our viewers know to tune back in next week at 7:30. He'll be our featured guest.
Oh, okay. Next week, 7:30. Okay.
Exactly. So is there anything that I haven't asked you that you would like to share with our readers, or just anything that you'd like for our audience to know about you?
Yeah, I just want to tell them, do not give up. No matter what you're doing, the gift that God have placed in you, don't give up. No matter what it look like, keep striving, keep pushing. Because, and especially if you have a story, especially if you want to write, if you have a book in you, if you have music in you and you desire to write, just do it. Just step out on faith and do it, and reach out to someone like myself and Dr. Sonia. Just reach out and we'll help you. We will be glad to help you. Just don't give up.
That's right. That's great encouragement. I appreciate that. And so I encourage our readers to find Mornings with Rori. If you're not able to join her for her live session in the morning, you can always catch them later in the day. But you're just a very encouraging person. You like to uplift others, and you like to see the good and the positive. And I love that about you. And so
I do.
you know, ask people if you need some encouragement, follow Minister Rori Leake. And anything else? Do you want to say anything about your ministry?
Yeah, open mouth outreach ministry, and that goes along with this book right here, open mouth ministry. When I stepped into ministry, when I got into ministry, God said, Rory, open your mouth, because I was afraid to say certain things. Now I would write it. Oh, I write all day long, but I never was too fast to speak out. And God said, open mouth ministry, and so that's why it's open mouth outreach ministry. And then Mornings with Rory come because I was raised to get up early in the morning.
Okay.
So all that comes together. Mornings with Rory, open mouth outreach ministry, my life, my story, burning bridges, all that come together.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, I just like to encourage you just to keep on going and doing what you do. You know, don't ever really look at the numbers, because
Right.
you know, sometimes we may not see what we want to see, but we're doing, and God is blessing the way he wants. And sometimes we have no clue how many people we're truly ministering to or truly reaching. And so we just have to be obedient. And if he desires for increase to come, it will come. And I speak that right now, that, you know, his will is done in your life and in your ministry as an author, everything that you touch and everything that you will do. And I pray that your family will be blessed. And I pray that all of these babies will be blessed.
I know it. I know it. I love it. I love this. And oh my God, you're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. You've done a wonderful job. Awesome job on it.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank
you know
you.
what? You know what? Even the green is part of my ministry.
Wow.
So you didn't know none of that.
I didn't know that. I certainly did not. I did not. Well, I would like to make sure our readers know that they can purchase your book on Amazon. And, you know, please support our authors. If you're from Cross Hill, Waterloo, Lawrence, Clinton, Gray Court, Enoree, or if you're from Lawrence County, Greenwood County, Saluda, all of the surrounding areas, support this author. We just need to support and lift each other up. And I promise you, you'll be blessed. You may not have grandchildren, but there's a child somewhere who can be blessed by this book. There's a grandmother, there's a grandparent, there's a parent who can be blessed by the prayers in this book. So support Minister Leake. And we are so thrilled to have been here with us this evening. It's been great seeing you and talking with you. And I look forward to our future projects. So thank you so much for choosing Hadassah Crown. And I sincerely wish for you the very best.
Thank you, and same to you. Thank you. All right.
You have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in to us tonight. We didn't give you an opportunity to ask any questions, but if you want to put anything in the chat, Minister Rori has signed off, but I will get answers and get back to you if you have any questions that you know that you want to ask of her, or just about publishing in general. You can comment, or you can inbox me as well. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart for being here. And I look forward to introducing you to all of our future authors who will be joining us for this author series. Have a great night.